Hey, what's going on, sports people? This is your boy Larry, and wanted to jump into a little baseball today because I'm sure a lot of you heard over last week that Major League Baseball decided to go ahead and include, some of the players from the Negro Leagues, and add them to the record books and, add them to the Hall. Um, it kind of means, like I said, you're gonna start hearing about, Satchel Paige, great pitcher. Pretty much pitched until he was an old man. I think Satchel Paige was in his 50s when he gave up, when he gave up pitching. Um, you're gonna hear about, like Josh Gibson, pretty good catcher. He played for the Homestead Grays, yeah, but he allegedly, has more home runs than Babe Ruth. We'll see if they put that in the record books, but hey, it'd be good to get him, get him in there too. Um, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the players. I'll tell you what I will do is I'll, try to recommend you to a good movie. I don't know if any of you guys ever seen Soul of the Game. It was basically a movie about, Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson was in there, and Josh Gibson. It's basically a movie about the Negro Leagues, and I'll tell you what, it was, it's a pretty good watch if if you can run across it. Um, Something else they were talking about, while they were, mentioning the inclusion of the Negro Leagues is they kind of talk about why there's not a whole lot of inclusion of African American players, young African American players in baseball. And, you know, outside of, finding a black player that you can put out here as the face of baseball, which, there's a couple of them. I mean, Mookie Betts is one that comes to mind. Um, the last face of baseball in my generation and in my opinion was, Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, that guy made baseball cool for everybody. So, like I said, I'm, staying away from that. Um, my real issue, because like I said, I'm speaking from experience because I have been a baseball coach at the youth level. I coach, 13, 14 year olds and, you know, some kids up to high school age. So it's not like I'm speaking without experience. Um, to me, the first and biggest thing, with baseball and the African American community, it is very expensive to play baseball. Um, when I coached, and I'm pretty sure today, the cost of equipment to play baseball is just out of control. In football, your equipment's given to you. In basketball, hell, you just need a ball. But with baseball, you get to, these $300 gloves and these $200 bats, and don't forget, and yeah, let me hip you to this. In baseball, if you really want to get some exposure, then you have baseball camps, off-season baseball, like specialized pitching camps, hitting camps, or just, all included, just, in general baseball camp. And those things, they can start off at $500 and go up into the thousands. But that's what you're going to end up paying if you want your kid to get some exposure, because at these camps, that's where you see a lot of your scouts and, college coaches, pro scouts, things of that nature. So, like I said, if you want, if you want to play baseball, it's going to cost you some money. So that was my biggest thing about, getting, you know, getting kids from the African American community, and especially if they're in a low income community, because if you go into it, you go to any low income community here in Houston, you barely see a baseball park. So what does that tell you? Um, the second thing, and like I said, I expect a little pushback on this. Maybe some of you agree, maybe some of you won't. But a lot of older people tend to think baseball is slow and boring. So what do you think what do you think a 12, 13, 14-year-old kid thinks when they watch a baseball game today? I mean, baseball has to be the only game out there where, if individual accomplishment, you know what I'm saying? Like if you hit a game winning home run, or you make a throw from right field all the way to home plate and cut down a runner. If you celebrate that, that's kind of frowned upon, and you're not going to draw a lot of kids with that, because, like I said, in baseball, when you hit a home run, they expect you to put your head down, run around the bases, head to the dugout. If you so much as flip your bat, if you break out into a home run trot, the slow jog, or if you stand and watch the ball clear the fence, the next time you come up to bat, the pitcher's probably going to throw at you. Anybody that's played knows that. So, like I said, that's one thing right there. I remember, it was a couple of years ago. The guy for Joey Batista, he played for Toronto at the time, and they were in like it was a playoff clinching, game 7 situation. The guy hits a grand slam, flips his bat, and trotted around the bases. And I tell you what, following the game and the next day in the media, they all but wanted to run this guy out of baseball because, he's showing up the pitcher. He's showing, he's disrespecting the game. I mean, he had to break down and have a press conference to apologize. I mean, the guy hit a home run that sent his team, to advance in the playoffs, and you don't want him to celebrate. Okay? In football, these guys celebrate getting the first down, right? I mean, in basketball, they slam, an alley-oop or a slam dunk, the benches are going crazy. So, when kids look at that on TV, they want to do that. They want to be the guy that breaks a 60-yard touchdown. They want to be the guy that gets the alley-oop and throws it down. In baseball, if you can't do that, you're not going to attract a lot of young players. I mean, I actually watched the difference in the way they play the game in South America, like places like the Dominican Republic and Mexico, things like that. It is a totally different game down there, and I see why baseball is so popular in South America, because those guys, they trash talk each other during the game. If they hit a home, these guys hit a double, they flip their bat. I mean, that's fun. And if you want kids to play your game, it has to be fun. So, like I said, guys, that's my 2 biggest things about, why you don't have a lot of African American involvement at the youth level when it comes to baseball. So, I tell you what, if you guys have anything, I don't know how many baseball fans we have, but hey, if you guys have any suggestions or think I might have missed anything here, go ahead and drop it in the comments and we can debate it. But look at, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for today. I just wanted to get this out here for you. Like I said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.